Everyone laughed when the most feared mafia boss chose a poor girl to babysit his little daughter. They called her worthless. They said she belonged in kitchens, not inside a mansion guarded by armed men. Just hours earlier, Amara had been serving drinks at her stepsister's engagement, wearing a torn dress while the guests mocked her like she didn't exist. Then, a convoy of black SUVs stopped outside her tiny apartment. A man stepped out. Cold eyes, no smile. He looked straight at her and said,
"Pack your things. My daughter is waiting."
Amara thought he was just another billionaire. She was wrong. He was the mafia boss whose name judges refused to say, whose enemies disappeared overnight, and whose little daughter hadn't smiled since her mother's death. But the biggest mystery wasn't who he was. It was why the most dangerous man in the city chose her. This story is brought to you by SM Stories. If you love emotional love stories that hit straight to the heart, stay with us till the end, because this one will make you feel everything. Amara grew up in a house where love was given only to the daughter with the right blood. Her father died when she was 12 years old. After that, her stepmother, Nkechi, took over the house and made sure Amara understood one thing clearly. This is not your house. You are only here because your father was kind enough to bring you in. Do not forget that. Amara's stepsister, Ifeoma, was the golden child. Every new dress, every school fee, every warm meal went to Ifeoma first. Amara wore hand-me-downs. She ate what was left. She worked in the kitchen before sunrise and cleaned the compound before school. But she never complained, because deep inside, Amara believed something her father once told her before he died. A kind heart is worth more than a full pocket, my daughter. Never let bitterness enter you, even when the world is unfair. She held on to those words like a candle in the dark. By the time Amara turned 23, she had finished a diploma in early childhood education, but no job would hire her. Every interview ended the same way. "We will call you." They never called. So she survived by babysitting other people's children for small money. Money that barely covered her rent. On the night of Ifeoma's engagement party, Nkechi forced Amara to serve drinks to the guests as if she was hired help in her own father's house. "Smile," Nkechi hissed at her. "Show these people that at least you know your place." Amara smiled, but inside, something quiet was breaking. That was the night the black car arrived. The man who stepped out of the lead SUV was tall, with a calm face that gave nothing away. His name was Kingsley Ease. He asked around the neighborhood for someone reliable, someone honest, someone who needed work badly enough to keep quiet. Amara's neighbor, an old woman named Mama Rose, pointed him toward Amara's small room. "That girl has a good heart," Mama Rose told him. "She feeds my grandchildren when I have nothing. She has never once complained about her life." Kingsley knocked on Amara's door at almost 10 at night. Amara opened it, surprised to see a well-dressed stranger standing outside her small room. "Good evening," he said. "My name is Kingsley. I am looking for someone to take care of my daughter. I was told you are trustworthy." Amara studied him carefully. "Sir, it's very late, and I don't know you." "I understand your caution," Kingsley said. "That is exactly why I chose you. A person who is careful with strangers will be careful with a child." Amara almost said no. But then she thought of her rent, 3 months overdue. She thought of the humiliation from that night's party. She thought of survival. "How much are you offering?" she asked quietly. When Kingsley told her the amount, Amara's hands trembled. It was more money than she had seen in her entire life for 1 month of work. "Why me?" she asked. "You don't know anything about me." Kingsley looked at her for a long moment. "Because my daughter needs someone real, not someone chasing my money, someone chasing an honest life." Amara did not know that Kingsley was one of the most feared men in the city, a man whose name alone could silence a room. All she knew was that a stranger was offering her a way out of poverty. She said yes. She had no idea she was stepping into a world of danger, power, secrets, and slowly, love. The next morning, a car came to take Amara to Kingsley's estate. When the gates opened, Amara's mouth fell open. The house was not a house. It was a small kingdom. Marble floors, guards standing at every corner, staff who moved quickly and quietly, never asking questions. A young girl, about 6 years old, sat alone on the staircase, hugging a worn teddy bear. Her eyes were sad, far too sad for a child that age. "This is Zuri," Kingsley said. "My daughter." Zuri did not look up. "She lost her mother 2 years ago," Kingsley said softly. "Since then, she has not trusted anyone new. Nannies come and go. She scares them all away, or they leave because they cannot handle her silence." Amara knelt down in front of the little girl. "Hello, Zuri. My name is Amara. I'm not here to replace anyone. I'm just here to sit with you, if you'll let me." Zuri stared at her, saying nothing. But she did not run away. That was the first small victory. Over the next few days, Amara did not force conversation. She simply sat beside Zuri while she drew pictures. She hummed old songs while braiding Zuri's hair. She waited. Slowly, Zuri began to speak. First one word, then a sentence. Then, one evening, she climbed into Amara's lap and whispered, "Will you leave like the others?" Amara held her close. "I'm not going anywhere, Zuri. I promise you that." From a hallway nearby, Kingsley watched silently, his jaw tight with an emotion he did not expect to feel. For the first time in 2 years, his daughter was smiling. Kingsley Ease was not just a businessman. In the streets, in certain offices, in certain quiet rooms where deals were made in whispers, his name carried weight that ordinary money could not buy. The staff bowed their heads slightly when he passed. Guards straightened their backs. Even powerful men who visited the estate spoke to him with careful respect, choosing their words like they were walking on glass. Amara noticed these things, but she said nothing. It was not her place to ask. One afternoon, she overheard 2 guards talking quietly near the garden. "Did you hear what happened to the Okafor shipment?" one whispered. "Shh, don't speak about that here. You know what happens to people who talk too much." Amara walked past quickly, pretending she heard nothing. But her heart was pounding. Who exactly was Kingsley Ease? That night, at dinner, she gathered the courage to ask, "Sir, what exactly is your business?" Kingsley paused, his fork resting against his plate. "I own several companies. Import, logistics, real estate, and the guards." "The way everyone moves so carefully around you." Kingsley's eyes met hers, calm but unreadable. "In my world, respect and fear often look the same from the outside. It is safer for you not to ask more than that." Amara felt a chill run through her. But she also felt something else, curiosity. And beneath that curiosity, something warmer she refused to name. Despite the danger hidden beneath the surface of that house, life inside those walls slowly grew softer. Kingsley began coming home earlier. He would sit at the dinner table and listen to Zuri talk about her day, something he had not done in months. He noticed the way Amara spoke gently but firmly to his daughter, the way she never raised her voice, but never let Zuri get away with bad behavior either. "You are stricter than I expected," Kingsley said one evening, almost amused. "Love without boundaries is not love," Amara replied simply. "It's neglect wearing a kind face." Kingsley studied her for a long moment. "Where did you learn that?" "From growing up without anyone giving me boundaries or love," Amara said quietly. "I promised myself I would never let a child feel invisible." Something shifted in Kingsley's chest that night. He had built walls around himself for years, walls made of power, money, and controlled silence. But this woman, with her torn dresses and her tired eyes, was speaking truths that cut straight through those walls. One evening, after Zuri had fallen asleep, Kingsley found Amara sitting alone on the back veranda looking at the stars. "May I sit?" he asked. Amara nodded, surprised. They sat in silence for a while. "Thank you," Kingsley finally said. "For my daughter. I haven't seen her smile like this in 2 years." "She's a beautiful child," Amara said. "She just needed someone to stay." Everyone I have ever trusted eventually wanted something from me, Kingsley said quietly. Money, favors, protection. I stopped believing anyone could simply stay without wanting anything. Amara looked at him. I'm not staying for your money, sir. I'm staying because that little girl needed someone in her corner. And so it seems, do you? Kingsley looked at her like no one had looked at her in years, like she mattered. But peace never lasts long in a house built on power. One evening, Amara's stepmother Nkechi somehow found out where she was working. She showed up at the estate gates, uninvited, dragging Ifeoma along with her. So this is where you disappeared to, Nkechi said loudly, looking around at the mansion with greedy eyes. Working as a common babysitter for a rich man. How shameful. Please leave, Amara said quietly, embarrassed. This is not your business. Not my business, Nkechi laughed coldly. You live under my roof? Or did you forget? Everything you have belongs to this family. Ifeoma smirked. Look at her, playing nanny in a mansion, thinking she's special now. You will always be the girl nobody wanted, Amara. Don't forget that. Guards moved forward to escort them out, but the damage of the words had already landed. Amara stood there, humiliated, the old wounds reopening in front of the staff. That night, Kingsley found her crying quietly in the kitchen. They have no right to speak to you that way, he said, his voice low and controlled, but his eyes were sharp with quiet anger. They've spoken to me that way my whole life, Amara said, wiping her tears. I'm used to it. You should never get used to being treated like you are worthless, Kingsley said firmly. You are not worthless, Amara. For the first time, Amara let herself believe those words, even just a little. As weeks passed, Amara began noticing things that did not add up. Men in expensive suits arrived at odd hours, speaking to Kingsley in hushed tones behind closed doors. Once, she saw a folder left open on his desk, filled with documents stamped with names of shipping companies she did not recognize, alongside numbers too large to be normal business. Another time, a police commissioner visited the house personally, not with authority, but with nervous respect, thanking Kingsley for his continued understanding. The guards called him Oga, with a tone of fear layered under respect. One night, Amara asked Zuri innocently, "Does your father travel a lot for work?" Zuri, playing with her dolls, answered simply, "Daddy owns almost everything, Auntie Amara. That's what Uncle Ben says. He says people who cross Daddy disappear." Amara's blood ran cold. She began to understand that Kingsley Ease was not simply a rich businessman. He was something far more powerful and far more dangerous. But by then, it was too late for her heart. She had already started falling for him. One quiet evening, after Zuri had gone to bed, Kingsley invited Amara to sit with him in his study. "I think it's time I was honest with you," he said, his voice heavier than usual. Amara's heart pounded. "About what, sir?" "About who I really am," Kingsley said. "You've noticed things. I know you have. You're too observant not to." Amara stayed silent, waiting. "My family built our wealth through legitimate business on the surface," Kingsley continued. "But underneath, we control things this city depends on. Shipping routes, certain protections, certain silences. People fear me because in my world, fear keeps order. It keeps my daughter safe." Amara's hands trembled slightly. "Are you saying you're a criminal?" "I'm saying I'm a man who has done difficult things to protect what matters to me," Kingsley said carefully. "I have never hurt anyone who did not first try to hurt me or my family. But I will not lie to you and pretend my hands are clean." Amara looked at him for a long time. "Why are you telling me this now?" Kingsley's eyes softened. "Because I trust you, because my daughter loves you, and because I think I am falling for you, Amara, and I refuse to build something real on a foundation of lies." The room went silent. Amara's heart was screaming two things at once: run and stay. "I need time," she whispered. "Take all the time you need," Kingsley said. "But know this, whatever you decide, my daughter will always consider you family." While Amara wrestled with her feelings, danger was already creeping toward the estate. A rival businessman named Chief Obina had long wanted to take over Kingsley's shipping routes. For years, he had waited for a weakness, a crack in Kingsley's armor. He found it the moment his men spotted Amara at the market, alone, unguarded. "Find out who she is," Obina ordered his men. "If she matters to Kingsley's, she is now our leverage." Meanwhile, back at the estate, Nkechi and Ifeoma had not given up either. Word had spread in their social circles that Amara was close to the powerful Kingsley's, and suddenly, the family that once mocked her wanted something from her. Nkechi showed up again, this time with false sweetness in her voice. "Amara, my dear, we've come to apologize," she said, forcing a smile. "We were wrong to treat you that way. Families should support each other." Amara knew this sudden change of heart was not real. "What do you want, Nkechi?" Nothing, Nkechi said quickly. "We just want to reconnect. Perhaps you could introduce us to Mr. Ease? Ifeoma's fiancé's business could use a partner like him." There it was, the truth behind the fake apology. "Get out," Amara said, her voice steady for the first time in her life. "I am done being used by this family." Nkechi's face twisted with anger. "You ungrateful girl, after everything you did to me," Amara cut in sharply. "You mocked me, you starved me of love, you called me worthless in front of strangers. I am done." For the first time, Amara did not cry. She simply closed the door. 2 days later, disaster struck. While Amara was walking home from the market, a black van pulled up beside her. Before she could scream, rough hands pulled her inside and the van sped off. She was taken to a warehouse on the edge of the city, blindfolded, terrified, her heart hammering against her ribs. When the blindfold was removed, she saw Chief Obina standing before her, smiling coldly. "You have no idea what you've become, my dear," he said. "You are now the key to bringing down Kingsley's." "He'll never trade anything for me," Amara said, though her voice shook. "I'm just his daughter's babysitter." Obina laughed. "Is that what you believe? My sources tell me Kingsley's has not looked at another woman since his wife died, until you arrived. That makes you very valuable indeed." Back at the estate, Kingsley received the call informing him Amara was missing. Something in him shattered. His guards had never seen him like this. Cold, silent, his eyes burning with a fury that made even his most loyal men take a step back. "Find her," he said, his voice deadly quiet. "Find her now. And if a single hair on her head is harmed, burn everything Obina has ever built to the ground." Kingsley's network moved like a machine built for exactly this moment. Within hours, his men had traced the van, identified the warehouse, and surrounded the location without Obina's men even noticing. Inside, Amara sat tied to a chair, praying silently, refusing to let Obina see her fear. "Your Kingsley is probably already planning your funeral," Obina taunted. "Men like him don't get sentimental over hired help." "You don't know him at all," Amara said quietly. At that exact moment, the warehouse door burst open. Kingsley walked in, flanked by armed men, his presence alone freezing every one of Obina's men in place. "Kingsley," Obina said, forcing a smile that did not reach his eyes. "I was just about to call you. This was simply a misunderstanding." "You touched something that belongs to me," Kingsley said, his voice low and terrifyingly calm. "There is no misunderstanding that fixes that." Obina's men, seeing the numbers against them, slowly raised their hands. Kingsley walked past Obina without another word, straight to Amara, gently untying her hands himself. "I'm here," he whispered. "I'm here now. You're safe." Amara broke down in his arms, all the fear finally releasing in tears. Obina, defeated and humiliated, was left standing as Kingsley's men closed in around him. "This isn't over," Obina spat. Kingsley turned back, his eyes cold as steel. "It is for you." Back at the estate, Amara sat wrapped in a blanket, still shaking from the ordeal. Kingsley sat beside her, refusing to leave her side even for a moment. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "This happened because of who I am, because of the life I live. I understand if you want to leave, if this is too much for you." Amara looked at him, exhausted but clear-eyed. You came for me. I would burn down the entire city for you, Kingsley said softly. I was scared, Amara admitted, not just of Obina, of loving a man who lives in danger every single day. I cannot promise you a life without danger, Kingsley said honestly, but I can promise you a life where you are never alone in facing it, where you are protected, respected, and loved completely. Amara reached for his hand. Zuri already lost one mother figure. I won't be the second person who disappears from her life. And I don't want to disappear from yours either. Kingsley closed his eyes, relief and love washing over him at once. I love you, Amara, he said, not because you are convenient, not because you are safe to trust, but because you are the strongest, kindest woman I have ever known. I love you too, Amara whispered, even knowing everything now. Weeks later, Kingsley organized a large gathering at his estate, officially introducing Amara as the woman in his life, in front of the city's most powerful families, business partners, and yes, Amara's own family, who had been invited deliberately. Nkechi and Ifeoma arrived, expecting to see Amara serving drinks as usual, only to freeze in shock when they saw her standing beside Kingsley, dressed elegantly, treated with respect by every guest in the room. This cannot be real, Ifeoma whispered. Kingsley took the microphone, his voice carrying across the silent hall. Many of you know me as a man of business, and some of you know sides of me you do not speak about in polite company, he said, a knowing murmur passing through the crowd. But tonight, I want you to know me as a man who found something more valuable than any deal I have ever made. Her name is Amara. He turned to face Nkechi and Ifeoma directly. I understand some of you once called her worthless, called her a girl nobody wanted. I want you to look at her now and understand something clearly. The love, patience, and strength this woman carries could never be measured by the dress she wears or the family that failed to value her. The room was silent. Nkechi's fist burned with humiliation. Ifeoma looked away, unable to meet anyone's eyes. You called him poor, Kingsley said, remembering the whispers that had reached him about that night with the torn dress. Now you stand inside a house that could buy your entire family's future twice over, and still, none of it compares to what she is worth. Amara stood there, tears in her eyes, not from pain this time, but from a lifetime of humiliation finally being answered with truth and respect. After the party, Amara found Nkechi standing alone outside, quiet for the first time. I'm not here to gloat, Amara said softly. I just want you to know I forgive you. Not because what you did was right, but because I refuse to carry that bitterness into the life I'm building now. Nkechi, for once, had no cruel words left. I was wrong about you, she said quietly. I let my own bitterness poison how I treated you. I know, Amara said simply. I hope you find peace with that someday. She walked away, finally free of the weight she had carried her whole life. Inside, Zuri ran up to Amara, hugging her tightly. Are you going to stay forever now? Amara knelt down and smiled. Forever, Zuri, I promise. Months later, Amara and Kingsley married in a quiet, beautiful ceremony, surrounded by people who genuinely loved them, not people chasing status or money. Zuri stood beside Amara as her flower girl, glowing with happiness she had not shown in years. Kingsley had slowly begun stepping back from the darker parts of his business, choosing instead to focus on the legitimate empire he had built. Determined to build a safer future for his new family, Amara, once called a nobody, once humiliated in torn dresses, now stood as a woman who had survived poverty, cruelty, and danger, only to find a love built on truth, respect, and unshakable loyalty. She had learned something that stayed with her for the rest of her life. Sometimes, the people who hurt you the most are simply preparing you for the love that finally sees your true worth. And somewhere, a little girl who once refused to trust anyone new fell asleep every night knowing she finally had a family that would never disappear. They called her the girl nobody wanted. But it only took one man who saw everything to prove that she was the only one worth choosing all along. Thank you for watching till the end. If this story touched your heart, hit that subscribe button so you never miss our next emotional story. This has been SM Stories. We'll see you in the next one.